going on YouTube? Your girl Yolanda Randolph here. Go ahead, click the subscribe button, tap that notification bell, and hit that like button for your girl, okay? So we can go ahead and get this thing moving, shaking, and popping.
Her Intuition Podcast is a platform to remind all women of their worth and to encourage them to dig deep within themselves for better.
Who's in love? Anybody? Anybody in love? Anybody? Anybody raising their hand being in love? Not to be confused with just loving someone, but I'm talking about deeply in love with someone. Who's in lust? Uh-oh. Lust and love. Now, there's two different things. Actually, three different things. In love, love, and lust. Well, I'm going to talk about love today. I want to thank you so much for taking the time to open this message, checking your girl out on another wonderful, and of course I'm biased, Tell It Tuesday message. A quick motivational minute to keep you going, to keep you uplifted, keep you going on with your days, okay? Back to it. Love. Well, I used to be in love. I know that's hard to believe because of the content that I talk about, because of the stuff that's in my books. It's easy for someone to judge. Shout out to a previous episode. But it's easy for someone to judge and say, well, hey, well, she's never going to be in love again, or her heart is made of stone. Well, my friends, I'm here to tell you that it's not. That's one. Two, I prefer to just hang on and just wait. Hold on. Just like I talk about wounds and stuff like that, I'm serious about that. I don't just talk about it. I'm being about it. Now, I'm going to do some studying and stuff first before I jump into being in love. Okay? Now, that's just me. To each his own. But I will do this thing carefully. I heard someone tell me one time before that I have a wall around my heart. Might be so. Okay, I'll accept that. But you want to know what? I'm open. I'm open to falling in love again. Resilient Love Podcast. Speaking of love, shout out to my girl Brianna Baker and her husband Q. They run a podcast called Resilient Love, where they're talking about sorts of things as far as like your faith and your marriage. They're a married couple, wonderful couple, and they talk about how they maneuver through their marriage through their strong faith in God, and so great podcast. I encourage you to go check it out. You can find them on Facebook and Instagram. Okay, I was going to say Amazon. My mind is on Amazon, but you can find it on Facebook and Instagram. Go check my girl and her husband out. Okay, they're talking about love. Me, I'm still working my way through there. And so back to the wall around my heart. Yeah, I'll accept that. But when God blesses me with that right person, I'm willing and ready to pull the wall down enough to let them come in. I'm ready for that. I'm open to that. I haven't given up on love. That's not what I've done. I've just become more careful. That's all. My boy Kim says, shout out to Kim, by the way. He's one of my favorite singers. He has that song called If Love Calls Your Name, or something like that. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Love calls your name. There you go. Somewhere along there, but I know the song when I hear it. Great song. And that's right. When love is calling your name, you're going to have to answer eventually. So I want to just give you an encouraging word for those of you who feel like you're stuck. I used to feel like I was stuck. I thought something was actually wrong with me because anybody who come my way, I wasn't interested. I didn't care what they said, what they did, how they looked, whatever. I was at a point where I was stuck. I'm assuming it was due to my pain and heartache. I want to encourage you to not push really hard, but to work on moving the wall down. Just small little chips. Because what you don't want to do, well, I'll speak about me, because I can only speak about how I feel. I don't want to go through my entire life being single. No, that's not the way that life is supposed to be. You're supposed to be able to share your goodness with someone. You're supposed to be able to share your rough days with someone. You're supposed to be able to share your adventures with someone. And so I'm open. I want you to be open too. For those of you who feel like you're stuck, move it just a little bit. Not enough to have them come and take advantage. Shout out to all of my messages. I speak about people home base. That's a great message. If you have not already heard it, take a listen. It's here on the podcast. Previous episode. Never allow someone to use you as their home base. That's one. Never allow someone to push you too quickly into something that you're not comfortable with. Check for those wounds. Shout out to a previous episode here on the podcast. Checking for those wounds. Doing your homework. Laying back and sitting back and watching. Being quiet so that you can stay there focused. Your intuition can focus. Do all of those things. But don't be stuck like I was. That's why I have credence to discuss this. Have credence to talk about it. Because I used to be stuck. But like Kim said, one day it's going to call your name. And when it does, I do not want anyone to miss out on the opportunity of a good guy, of a good girl, of a good woman, of a good queen, of a king. Tongue twister there. For some reason. I don't want you to miss out on that. I too am telling myself that everybody's not out to get you. I had to tell myself that. Yolanda, everybody's not out to get you. Be mindful, be open. And not saying that everyone, that you should follow someone, because you have your own mind and you can do exactly what you want to do. But there are models out there. Again, Bree and her husband Q, Resilient Love Podcast. That's a perfect model right there. When you've dealt with a whole bunch of bad relationships, and I'm speaking on that because I did, sometimes it's good to watch a model. Maybe it's something that you haven't picked up. I'm open to looking at others. I'm open to learning from others. Okay? Be open to that. Be mindful, but be open. Chip it away just a little bit. Okay? Just feeling some love in the air this week. And so I wanted to come and share that with someone who may be feeling a certain type of ways about love, who has felt like they have given up on love, who has, like me at one point, said no going back. Well, I meant that. I meant I wasn't going back to that joker. But no going back to love. Okay? The ones who feel like love don't live here anymore. Been there and done that. But I quickly learned, or no, it wasn't quickly. It was a while. It was a long time. I learned that can't always be. Yes, love does live here. Absolutely it does. Absolutely it does. Because you want to know what? What I do not want for myself is to live long enough and not experience the good love. Now that I have loved myself first and loved myself more, shout out to another episode here on the podcast. Go and check it out. I learned to love myself more and fall in love all over again with myself, that I now can open myself up to allow someone else to love me, because I am a lovable person. Okay? You are too. Blessings to you. Thank you so much for listening to your girl, for rocking with your girl every week. Books for those of you who like to read. I do have both ebook and paperback over on Amazon. All of my stories, all of my characters are chilling over there on Amazon. Go and check them out. Now, I don't promise a whole lot of stuff, but I can promise you this. It's a ride. Each and every book that I've written and I've written quite a few. I have been told by people who've read them. Now, these aren't just biased compliments here. You know, I'm biased when I talk about my own stories. Who wouldn't be? You know, of course I'm biased. But I have heard from readers that it's just a roller coaster ride. It's craziness. Okay? So I'm not the only one saying this. Go and check out the Devious Deception series. Go and check out the story that I have with the 3 storylines, with Amanda as storyline number 1, and then Preston is number 2, my personal favorite. Number 3, the Gregg family of the Twisted Tales of the Heart. Go over there and check it out. See what everybody's talking about. See what this craziness roller coaster is all about. My Little Teenagers, the Harriet High series, they ain't sweet and innocent either. They got some craziness going on with them. Good, crazy. Now, I don't go too far left because, hey, we are talking to babies here. We're talking to our babies here. I don't care how old they get. They're still our babies. So I do keep that in mind. I keep that in mind as I have a teenage daughter who likes to read. I keep that in mind. So I do not go too far left, but I do make it crazy. They too have their own roller coaster rides. Okay, so if you're picking up the Harriet High series, be sure to keep them hands on them hats and put them seatbelts on for you and your daughters, and your sons too, if they like to read. Okay, because that too is a roller coaster. Be on the lookout for more stories coming from your girl. I am getting ready to do something very special. Actually, I've already written it, but I'm getting ready to put it out there, and it's going to be for free. So be on the lookout for that. I can say that you won't be disappointed. Okay, I don't think you'll be disappointed. People who have read it so far are not disappointed, and it is a crazy difference than what I've written before. Be on the lookout for that. And one more thing before I go, I got to shout out my girls on the Chick Chat podcast. Brianna, who I just mentioned earlier during this chat that we're having, she is a co-host on the Chick Chat podcast. There's Ebony, and then there's Katrina. All of us run a show called the Chick Chat podcast. We would love to have you. You can follow us and see us on Facebook Live every Fridays. We do it on Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern. We would love to have you join us. We're on Instagram. We're on a couple of podcasting platforms. Just type in Chick Chat podcast, not to be confused with Chick. It's Chick, okay? So come on, join us. We would love to have you. All right? I think that's it for me for this week. Love, and when you know what, when that good one come along, when that good girl come along, when that good guy come along, love them and love them hard. Don't allow the past hell, the past foolishness to dampen your love for that person. It's not their fault what that other person have done. Move along and enjoy your life, okay? Love hard and love deep. Blessings to you. And prayerfully, we'll chat again next week.
Thanks so much for listening. And be sure to follow me on my #HerIntuition page on Facebook and on Instagram at Yolanda Randolph Publications.